I used to send Madison voice memos every single morning. Nothing fancy. Just 2 or 3 minutes of me saying good morning, telling her about my day ahead, reminding her to grab coffee sometimes, humming a tune I heard on the radio. I thought it was romantic. A way to stay connected when work kept us both running in different directions. She used to reply with heart emojis, tell me they made her smile. I believed her. I really did. Until the night, I picked up her phone and saw a group chat called The Vault. Before I tell you how everything unraveled, let me know where you are watching from in the comments below. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear what happens when trust gets shattered by the people closest to you. Now let me take you back to the morning that changed everything. Madison and I had been together for 3 years. We met at a mutual friend's barbecue, one of those summer afternoons where the sun hangs low and everything feels easy. She worked in marketing for a tech startup downtown. I was a software engineer at a consulting firm. Our schedules were brutal, but we made it work. We always made it work. 6 months ago, I proposed. Nothing over the top. Just the two of us on a hiking trail. She loved the city spread out below us like a postcard. She said yes before I even finished the question. We started planning the wedding right away. Invitations went out. The venue was booked. Everything felt like it was falling into place. The voice memos started about a year into our relationship. I traveled a lot for work back then, spending weeks in different cities, fixing code for clients who could not figure out why their systems kept crashing. I hated being away from her. So one morning, stuck in a hotel room in Dallas, I recorded a quick message instead of texting. Just me saying good morning, telling her I missed her, asking how her presentation went. She loved it. She told me it felt more personal than a text, more real. So I kept doing it. Even after the travel slowed down and we moved in together. Every morning at 6:30, like clockwork, I would record a message while making coffee. Sometimes I talked about work. Sometimes I made stupid jokes. Once I sang her a terrible version of You Are My Sunshine because she mentioned she had a rough week. She always responded. Heart emojis, laughing faces, messages like, love these, or you are so sweet. It became our thing. But about 2 months ago, something shifted. The replies got shorter. The heart emojis turned into quick thanks messages. Then just a thumbs up. Then nothing at all some days. I asked her about it once. She said she was swamped at work, that her boss was piling projects on her team. I believed her. Why would I not? I trusted her completely. One night, a Friday, we were both home. Madison was in the shower. I was in the kitchen pulling together some dinner when her phone started buzzing on the counter. Over and over. Notifications lighting up the screen. I glanced at it, not snooping. Just a reflex. The preview showed a group chat name I had never seen before. The Vault. 4 people in the chat. One message visible on the lock screen. Did he send another one this morning? Oh my God, I cannot. Followed by 3 laughing emojis. My stomach dropped. I stared at that message for what felt like an hour, but was probably only seconds. My hands were shaking when I picked up her phone. We did not have passwords on our phones. That was the rule. Total transparency. We trusted each other. At least I thought we did. I opened the chat. Kelsey, Brooke, Jenna. Her 3 closest friends. Women I had met dozens of times. Women I thought liked me. The chat loaded, and I saw my voice memos. All of them. Shared into this group like evidence at a trial. Below each one, a thread of comments. This is so cringe. Beta behavior at its finest. How do you deal with this? Every morning I scrolled up. The chat started 2 months ago. Right when Madison stopped replying to my messages the way she used to. The very first post was from her. Girls, I need a place to vent. Check this out. And attached was the first voice memo I ever sent after we got engaged. The one where I told her how excited I was to marry her, how I could not wait to start our lives together. Kelsey replied first. Wait, he sends these every day, girl. Brooke jumped in next. This is giving desperate vibes. Does he have nothing better to do? Then Jenna. I would die of secondhand embarrassment. Beta clown behavior. And Madison. My Madison. The woman I was going to marry in 4 months. She replied, I know, right, but I cannot tell him to stop. He will get all sensitive. My chest felt tight, like someone was squeezing my lungs. I kept scrolling. There were dozens of messages. Every single voice memo I sent dissected and mocked. The one where I sang to her. The one where I told her about a dream I had about our wedding. The one where I admitted I was stressed about a project at work and just needed to hear her voice. Kelsey had replied to the singing one. I am screaming. This is gold. The vault needs to preserve this forever. Brooke commented on the wedding dream memo. He dreams about your wedding. Red flag, too invested. And Jenna always. Jenna responded to the one about work stress. Clingy alert. How do you breathe, Madison? I wanted to stop reading. I should have stopped, but I could not. I needed to see it all. I needed to know exactly how deep this went. The worst part was not even the comments from her friends. It was Madison. She never once defended me. Not a single time. Instead, she joined in, laughed along, added her own commentary. One message stood out. It was from 3 weeks ago. I had sent a longer voice memo that morning, maybe 3 minutes, talking about how tired I was. How work was piling up, but I was pushing through because I wanted everything to be perfect for the wedding. How much I loved her. How lucky I felt. Madison shared it into the vault with a caption. He is having a breakdown again. So exhausting. Brooke replied immediately. Girl, are you sure you want to marry this? Madison's response made my blood run cold. The wedding is in 4 months. I have already sent invitations. I will figure it out later. I sat there on the kitchen floor, her phone in my hands, reading that message over and over. Figure it out later. Like I was a problem to be solved. An inconvenience she was stuck with until she could find a way out. But not before the wedding. Not before the big day she had been planning with her mother for months. Not before I paid for the venue, the caterer, the flowers, the band. The shower shut off. I heard the bathroom door open. Madison walked into the kitchen wrapped in a towel, hair dripping. She saw me sitting there with her phone. Her face changed instantly. Not guilty, not apologetic. Defensive. What are you doing with my phone? I did not answer. I just held it up so she could see the screen. The vault. Her eyes went wide. Her mouth opened like she was going to say something, then closed. She reached for the phone. I pulled it back. It is not what it looks like, she said. I laughed. Actually laughed. Because what else was there to do? Then what is it, Madison? Explain to me why you and your friends have been mocking me for 2 months. Explain why every private moment I shared with you became entertainment for a group chat. She wrapped the towel tighter around herself like she was protecting herself from me. You are overreacting. It is just girl talk. Everyone vents to their friends. Venting is one thing. This is different. You shared my voice memos. Private messages I sent to you. Not to them. To you. And you let them call me clingy. Desperate. A beta clown. You laughed about it. I did not call you that. My friends did. And you did not defend me. Not once. You laughed along. You added your own comments. You told them you were writing this out until the wedding. She flinched at that. How much did you read? All of it. Silence. She looked down at her feet. Water from her hair dripped onto the floor between us. When she finally spoke, her voice was quiet. Maybe if you were not so over the top with those messages, I would not need to vent. That was it. That was the moment I knew. It was not about the messages. It was not about me being too much or too clingy or too anything. It was about her. About the fact that she did not love me the way I loved her. Maybe she never did. I stood up. I need time to think. I am leaving. Ashton, wait. We can talk about this. But I was already walking toward the door. She called after me, but I did not turn around. I could not look at her. If I did, I might stay. And staying would have been the biggest mistake of my life. I went to Trevor's place. He was my college roommate, the kind of friend who does not ask questions when you show up at 10 at night looking like your world just collapsed. He handed me a beer, sat down on the couch and said, "What happened?" I told him everything. Every detail. Every message. Every cruel comment. When I finished, he was quiet for a long time. Then he shook his head. "Man, that is messed up. You deserve better than that." "I know," I said. "But I do not know what to do. We have a wedding in 4 months. Invitations are out. Deposits are paid. Her family is flying in from across the country." Trevor looked at me like I was insane. "You are not seriously thinking about going through with it." "I do not know what I am thinking." He leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "Listen to me. You cannot marry someone who does not respect you. Money does not matter. Invitations do not matter. What matters is that you wake up every day for the rest of your life next to someone who actually loves you. And Madison. She does not love you. She loves what you do for her." I knew he was right. Deep down I knew. But knowing and accepting are two different things. I spent the next 2 days at Trevor's apartment ignoring Madison's calls and texts. She sent dozens, each one more desperate than the last. "We need to talk. Please come home. I am sorry. I messed up. I love you." But she never said she was wrong, never acknowledged what she did. Just sorry, and I love you like that would fix everything. On the third day, I made a decision. I was not going to cancel the wedding in a fit of anger. I was not going to blow up my life because I was hurt. I was going to test her. I was going to stop being the perfect fiancé. Stop sending the voice memos. Stop doing all the little things I did to make her feel special. And I was going to watch. See how she reacted. See if she missed me, or if she just missed the attention. I went home. Madison was there sitting on the couch, her eyes red, like she had been crying. She stood up when I walked in. "Ashton, I am so sorry. I should not have done that. It was wrong." "Okay," I said. She blinked. "Okay, that is it. What do you want me to say, Madison? You hurt me. You humiliated me. An apology does not erase that. I know. But I want to fix this. Tell me how to fix this." I looked at her. Really looked at her. And for the first time in 3 years I did not feel anything. No love. No anger. Just emptiness. "I do not know if you can." Over the next 2 weeks I became a different person. Not mean, not cold. Just distant. I stopped sending the voice memos. I stopped texting her throughout the day. I stopped asking how her meetings went or if she needed anything from the store. When she talked, I listened, but I did not engage. I was polite, cordial, like a roommate. Madison noticed immediately. The first few days, she texted me constantly. "Are you okay? You have been quiet." "Miss you," I replied, but barely. "I am fine, just busy with work." She did not push, not at first. But by the end of the first week, she was unraveling. She called me during lunch breaks. She showed up at my office with coffee. She cooked dinner, something she almost never did. She tried to initiate conversations about the wedding, about us, about anything. I responded, but without the warmth she was used to. Without the effort. One night, she left her phone on the coffee table while she went to the bathroom. I picked it up. I know I should not have. But I needed to know. I needed to see if she was being real or just performing. I opened the vault. The messages told me everything. "Girls, something is off. He stopped sending those messages. He is acting cold," Kelsey replied. "Maybe he finally grew a spine," Madison wrote back. "I do not like it. I am used to him being all attentive." "This feels weird," Brooke chimed in. "You cannot have it both ways, babe. You complained when he did it, now you complain when he does not." Madison's response made everything clear. "I know, but I actually miss them. The attention, I mean. Not me, not Ashton. The attention, the effort, the service. That was what she missed. That was what she loved. Not me. Never me." 2 weeks turned into 3. Madison was desperate now. She bought me gifts. Small things at first. My favorite snacks. A new book I mentioned wanting to read. Then bigger things. A watch. Concert tickets. Things she thought would bring me back. But I did not want gifts. I wanted respect. I wanted honesty. I wanted her to love me for who I was, not for what I gave her. And she could not do that. She did not know how. One evening she sat down next to me on the couch. "I miss the old you," she said. "The one who sent me those sweet messages." I turned to look at her. "You mean the one you mocked in a group chat? The one your friends called a beta clown? That version?" Her face went pale. "You read everything. Every single word." She started crying. Real tears this time. Not the performance she put on when I first came home. "I messed up. I know I did. But I do love you. I swear I do. I need you to be honest with me. Do you actually love me? Or do you love what I do for you?" She opened her mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. "I love you." But she hesitated. Just for a second. Just long enough for me to see the truth. "You said you were writing this out until the wedding. That you would figure it out later. What did you mean by that?" She looked down at her hands. "I was angry when I said that. I did not mean it. You were not angry. You were honest. For the first time in months, you were honest. You do not want to marry me. You want the wedding. You want the stability. You want someone who pays for everything and does not ask questions. But you do not want me. That is not true. Then tell me something. When was the last time you did something for me? Not because I asked. Not because you felt guilty. But because you genuinely wanted to make me happy. She did not answer. She could not, because there was no answer. Every kind thing she did in the last 3 years was a response to something I did first. Every gesture was transactional. Every I love you was conditional. I cannot marry someone who does not respect me, I said. Someone who mocks me behind my back. Someone who only values what I provide, not who I am. No, wait. We can fix this. I will do better. I will delete the group. I will talk to my friends. I will do whatever you want. It is too late. You showed me who you really are, and I deserve better. She grabbed my arm. Please, I am begging you. Do not do this. We can work through it. I pulled my arm away gently. I already did the work, Madison. For 3 years I did the work. I showed up. I tried. I loved you with everything I had. And you turned it into a joke. You do not get to ask me to work harder now. The next morning I called the venue. Told them the wedding was off. They said I would lose the deposit, $5,000. I told them I did not care. I called the caterer, same thing, the florist, the band. Every vendor we booked. I canceled everything. Sent a mass email to the guest list. Due to irreconcilable differences, the wedding is called off. We apologize for any inconvenience. Madison tried to stop me. She called her mother, her friends. They all called me, left voicemails, sent texts, telling me I was making a mistake, that I was overreacting, that every couple goes through rough patches. But none of them knew the truth. None of them saw what I saw in that group chat. And I was not about to explain myself to people who did not care about me in the first place. I packed my things. The apartment was in my name. The lease. The utilities. Everything. I told Madison she had 30 days to find a new place. She begged me to reconsider. Said she had nowhere to go. I told her to ask Kelsey, or Brooke, or Jenna, the friends who thought I was such a joke. Maybe they would let her crash on their couches. I took back the engagement ring, not because I wanted to sell it, but because it was mine. I bought it. It represented something real to me, and she did not deserve to keep it. The last thing I did before walking out was block her number, block her friends, block everyone connected to her. I did not need closure. I did not need a final conversation. I needed distance. I needed to move on. Madison posted something on social media a few days later, something vague about heartbreak and betrayal. A lot of people commented asking what happened. She never responded. Because how could she? How could she explain that she mocked her fiancé for months and got caught? How could she tell people that she was using him? She could not. So she stayed silent. And eventually people stopped asking. The first few weeks after ending it were brutal. I woke up every morning expecting to feel relieved, free. But instead I felt hollow, like someone carved out a piece of me and left nothing behind. I questioned everything. Did I overreact? Should I have given her another chance? Was I throwing away 3 years over a group chat? But then I would remember. Not just the words, not just the mocking, but the way Madison never defended me. The way she laughed along. The way she said she was riding it out. And I knew. I knew I made the right choice. Trevor was there every step of the way. He dragged me to the gym when I did not want to go. Made me leave the house when all I wanted to do was sit in the dark and feel sorry for myself. He reminded me that I was not the problem. That vulnerability was not weakness. That loving someone openly and honestly was not something to be ashamed of. Slowly I started to believe him. I started to rebuild. I focused on work. Took on new projects. Spent time with friends I had neglected while trying to be the perfect fiancé. I rediscovered hobbies I let slip. Painting, running, reading books that had nothing to do with software engineering. And somewhere along the way, I stopped checking Madison's social media. Stopped wondering what she was doing or who she was with. She became a memory, a lesson, a reminder of what I did not want in my life. About 4 months later, I met someone new. Her name was Harper. She worked in a different department at my company. We ran into each other at a company event, one of those awkward networking mixers where everyone stands around pretending to enjoy small talk. We ended up in the same corner, both trying to avoid the crowd. We started talking. Nothing deep, just surface-level stuff. Work, the weather, how terrible the appetizers were. But it felt easy. Natural, like talking to an old friend. At some point I mentioned something about my ex. How I used to send her voice memos every morning. I do not know why I brought it up. Maybe I was testing the waters, seeing how she would react. Harper smiled. That is actually really sweet. I would love that. I stopped mid-sentence. You would. Of course. It is thoughtful, personal, way better than a text. Why would anyone not love that? And just like that, something shifted. Not in a dramatic way. Not in a way that made me think Harper was the one, or that we were going to ride off into the sunset together, but in a quiet way. A realization that the right person would not mock the way I loved. The right person would appreciate it, cherish it, reflect it back. Harper and I started as friends. We grabbed coffee a few times, went to lunch, talked about everything and nothing. There was no pressure, no expectations, just two people getting to know each other. And slowly, carefully, something began to grow. Something built on respect, on honesty. On the understanding that love is not about performance. It is about showing up, being real, being vulnerable, and trusting that the other person will not turn that vulnerability into a weapon. I am not saying Harper is perfect. No one is. And I am not saying our relationship is without challenges. But the difference is this. When I tell her something matters to me, she listens. When I share something personal, she holds it gently. When I make myself vulnerable, she does not laugh. She does not mock. She does not share it with her friends for entertainment. She values it. She values me. Looking back now, I realize that the voice memos were never the problem. The problem was sending them to someone who did not deserve to hear them. Madison taught me that not everyone is capable of receiving love the way you give it. That some people will take your kindness and twist it into something ugly. That respect is not optional in a relationship. It is everything. I do not hate Madison. I do not wish bad things for her. I hope she learned something from what happened. I hope she grew. But more than that, I hope she finds someone who loves her the way she can love them back. Someone who does not have to beg for respect. Someone who does not have to perform to earn affection. Because that is not love. That is survival. As for me, I am okay. Better than okay, actually. I learned that walking away is not giving up. It is choosing yourself. It is saying that you deserve more than crumbs. More than conditional love. More than someone who only values you when you are useful. Sometimes the greatest gift someone can give you is showing their true colors before you say I do. Madison gave me that gift, even if she did not mean to. And for that I will always be grateful. Because now I know what I am looking for. I know what I deserve. And I will never settle for less again. So here is my question for you. Have you ever been in a situation where someone made you feel like your love was too much? Where they mocked or dismissed the way you showed affection? Drop a comment below and share your story. And if this resonated with you, hit that like button. Subscribe if you have not already, because I share stories like this every week. Stories about real people, navigating real problems. And share this video with someone who might need to hear it. Someone who is questioning whether they are enough. Because they are. We all are. We just need to find the people who see that. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves. And remember, the right person will never make you feel like your love is a burden. They will treasure it, just like you deserve.